He's rubbing my feet. I can't get nobody to rub my feet. Hey, last time some girl rubbed my feet on, I don't want to talk about that. Can't talk about that. Rubbing my feet all the way to Beijing one time. Things pop up when people are rubbing your feet. Straight up, you are tuned to Ring Talk Live Worldwide. Your inside look in the world of boxing and MMA. I'll bring them back after the break. I'll talk about boxing's PhD open phone lines around the planet if you dare. 1-800-878-PLAY. That's 1-800-878-7529. This is Ring Talk Live on Sports Byline.
With Progressive's collision coverage, my family gets up to $1,000 for vet bills if I'm injured in a car accident. And that makes this Chihuahua really feel like part of the family. What's that? I don't sound like a Chihuahua? Oh, I'm sorry. What exactly am I supposed to sound like? I guess all Chihuahuas are high-strung, riding around in expensive designer purses. Actually, I prefer riding in cars. So I appreciate that my family protects me with Progressive's pet collision coverage. Okay, maybe I am a little high-strung. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and is subject to policy terms.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who help people that have been injured or wronged. If you've been involved in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or injured at work, you have rights. And you may be entitled to money for your suffering. Don't accept an offer you get from an insurance company until you talk to a lawyer. And we represent some of the best personal injury lawyers you can find. Tough lawyers that will fight to win your case. And they're so good they stake their reputation on it by only getting paid if you win. So if you've been in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or hurt on the job, find out today for free what kind of compensation you may be entitled to. Call the legal helpline right now.
800-401-5163. 800-401-5163. 800-401-5163. That's 800-401-5163.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you from Senior Care USA. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. That leaves your loved ones the burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay your family up to $30,000 to help pay for your funeral and other expenses. There are no medical exams. Your rates will never increase, and your plan cannot be canceled, regardless of your medical conditions, as long as you make your premium payments. Get up to $30,000 in final expense insurance. Call now for free information. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. That's 800-399-6879.
Member Week is here at Lowe's. That means it's time for My Lowe's Rewards members to save big with up to 40% off hundreds of items like appliances, tools, home essentials, and more. Plus, get free standard shipping. Shop these exclusive member-only savings now through October 15th. Not a rewards member? Join for free today. Free standard shipping not available in Alaska and Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Now, more of Ring Talk with Pedro Fernandez.
You know what? As long as she fights at 135 pounds, I don't care if she's injecting a horse demon into her eyeballs.
None other than Ronda Rousey. Of course, that's when she was UFC bantamweight champion, 135 pounds. Back in the day, of course, talking about Chris Cyborg Santos, who weighed 145 pounds and who had been suspected of taking performance-enhancing drugs on more than one occasion. Of course, by Miss Rousey. Bottom line is that fight never happened. Ronda Rousey in the news because she's talking about coming back, but not as a MMA fighter, back to the WWE. We do not wish her the best of luck. Straight up, this is Ring Talk Live Worldwide, your inside look at the world of boxing and MMA. Back to the phone lines, of course, on the Bronx. I'm talking about the Bronx Bomber, Socrates Palmer. Fedora's out, so that entire card has been canceled October 25th?
Yeah, that's the story that came out 2 weeks prior to the fight. Disappointing on a lot of levels for those undercard guys. I mean, Keith Thurman, look, he's made a lot of money already, and I don't even think anyone was actually clamoring for that fight. But I feel bad for the other guys on the undercard. It was supposed to be Oshaki Foster and Stephen Fulton, which was an interesting fight. And if you don't fight, you don't get paid. So they're talking about January being the
unless you're on Jake Paul's card. Give him props for that.
Right.
Give him props for that.
That is true. Got to give him. Yes, he did that. The show in Puerto Rico, I believe, with Amanda Serrano last year, which was very noble of him. And
it's a tax write-off. If he's making the money he's supposed to be making, it's a tax write-off.
Two things can be true, right? So a noble gesture and a smart business move as well.
As I'm looking through the glass here, as my producer tells me, relax. The Oshaki Foster, he can't get a break, can he? I mean, he got burned in the Canseco fight, and that sort of delayed his ascent to an extent. Of course, then Tommy D came on the show, said I was there live, and I think the scoring was fixed. And of course, we said that on WBC TV, and then I said that I'm repeating myself, but Mauricio Suleiman, I take it back, Mauricio Suleiman. I said if he didn't take care of this, he was part of the problem and not the solution. Well, they fired us from WBC TV.
Many people have been, what's the word, jettisoned for selling the truth.
Badge of honor. Like when Bob Arum wouldn't give me a press credential for the Floyd Mayweather Arturo Gatti fight in Atlantic City. I was all the way in Atlantic City, and my press credentials had been approved. He found out I was there. He saw me at the press conference. He denied the press credentials. Larry Hazard stepped in. I sat in the first row.
Like a middle finger without extending your hand.
Larry and I were pretty tight at one point in time. I mean, not personally, but professionally. And then of course, it was a time when I stopped that fight between Ray Mercer and Tommy Morrison. I'm the one that stopped the fight. I ran from across the ring. Ran up like 8 or 9 rows, started jumping up and down, screaming at Larry, I'm going berserk. Larry, stop the fight. He's going to kill him. He's going to kill him. Stop the fight. Because I have seen death in the ring before. I had seen it before with Rico Velasquez and David Gonzalez and San Jose. You can sense when the Grim Reaper is in the room. Okay, you can sense it. Okay, and Larry had to jump up. Tony Perez, the referee, he was like he was reading the newspaper. It was like he was a wrestling referee or something that day. I mean, he wasn't taking, good Lord, man. I mean, if he wasn't going to stop that fight, what fight would you stop?
That was one of the most brutal knockouts you want to see. Tommy Morrison, one arm dangling off the second rope. That was, merciless.
Yeah, I remember some Colombian lovely from that. I know about that. Let's talk about November 8th. Of course, November seems where boxing's coming back because the month of October seems to be shot with this Fundora card being history. Is Fundora, did they come up with an X-ray on that hand?
I have not seen anything yet, but a lot of people, think that it's, very fishy. Ticket sales supposedly were not doing well. Who knows, but like I said, it's not a fight that I was, circling the calendar.
Okay.
But, like I said, it's the undercard guys that I feel bad for. Fundora, it's what it is.
Okay, Fundora is Fundora better than his sister, or his sister better than him?
That's the question that we had at, the Thanksgiving table. I mean, his sister is nasty. She is, She may be the best pound-for-pound female in the game right now.
I met her in Mexico City, and she snarled at some other chick. She snarled at her. I said to myself, "Damn, I like that." You know what I'm saying? Because some girl was ranked like below her or something like that. The girl came by her, she snarled at her like bitch. Whoa. But hey, I like it because I used to snarl at people.
Hey, it's
listen,
what do you do for a living?
Bro, when I fought, even though it was in the amateurs, I didn't like guys before the fights. I didn't like guys after the fights. I didn't like guys a month later. You know what I'm saying? I just couldn't. I could never turn that dislike. I had to have disdain for somebody, and at the same time be scared of them in order to perform.
I like my fighters with a mean streak, man. I mean, you're not, all respect to, John McEnroe, you ain't playing tennis in there, man. It's a hurt business. I like guys with a chip on their shoulder, and within the rules, of course, but nothing wrong with being mean in the ring.
Okay. How
Nothing
many,
wrong.
somebody quizzed me a little bit earlier, shot me a text on Emmanuel Stewart. Of course, Emmanuel Stewart, I talked about him creating punchers. I mean, Tommy Hearns couldn't punch his way out of a paper bag. Listen, me and Bailey punch harder than Tommy Hearns at 132 pounds in the amateurs. You look at that fight between Tommy Hearns and Aaron Pryor. Tommy couldn't punch to save his life. He could not, nothing. He had no upper body strength, none whatsoever. Of course, 15 pounds later, Emmanuel Stewart turns him into the greatest puncher maybe in the history of the... Yeah, I think he was the greatest puncher in the history of the welterweight division. What do you think?
He's certainly in the conversation. When you take the fact that, he carried also that punching power, even as he moved up in weight, he was just a scary individual. It's either him or Julian Jackson, but I think Tommy Hearns knocked out more world-class fighters.
Let me tell you the story about that first Leonard Hearns fight. Of course, September 1981, Tommy Hearns is dropping weight. He's up in his room in Caesar's Palace, and they got this shower on, the steam's going, all that kind of good stuff. So he sweats himself down to 145, which is like 2 pounds less than what he needed to be. Okay, so first of all, when he hit the scale at 145, you can see him look at Emmanuel like, what the duck is going on, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so they come into the fight, and the strategy is for Tommy to box Ray. And I never understood this. I mean, Marvin Hagler wanted to do the same thing. Why would you box with the best boxer around? Anyway, Tommy goes boxing with him, and, it's semi-effective, this and that. And then in the 6th round, he gets hit in the body, and the fight's over, basically, from that point forward. Of course, Ray would stop him in the 14th round after being prompted to by Angelo Dundee between the 13th and the 14th round. But, how can I put it this way? Had Tommy went out there and been the hitman, I think the fight might have been different. I think history would be different, might be different, a lot different.
Yeah, I mean, look, when they fought the second time, when they were a lot older and heavier, Tommy got robbed, right?
Yeah,
and Tommy, that he took it to Ray that day, and look, Ray Leonard was an underrated puncher as well, and he had that dog in him so it would have been an interesting fight if he would have been pressing him. But you're right. Why would you try to? Beat
he almost went back to his amateur. It was like an amateur style. I mean, you're saying, he said, what's going on here? Why is he trying? I don't know if he was worried about his weight and being able to go 15 rounds or something like that. But the bottom line is, Tommy should have went out and tried to do to Ray what he did to Pepino and later to Roberto Duran. Because when you've got a guy shorter than you, you got to go out there and use your advantages. And Tommy didn't. I mean, he's the greatest. Come on, take that back. Had he not boxed, I think he had a hell of a chance to win. And when I talk about rating welterweights, of course, people say to me, you got to rate Ray Robinson first, of course, the man born Walker Smith, because he went undefeated as a welterweight. I don't think so. The reason why I'm saying that is that I think his day has come and gone. I think the guys have matched his skills. I think that there are guys that Marvin Hagler might have been able to walk him down and things like that. People say to me, oh, how can you say that? At 147, the only guy that Ray Robinson fought, I think Barney Ross he took the title from, and then he fought Kid Gavilan. Outside of those two guys, he didn't fight anybody at 147. And if you look at Ray Robinson's record, you want to talk about bums. Ray fought a lot of bums. I mean, bummier guys than me.
But he fought often, and he right. I mean, Ray Robinson fought out in his prime. I want to guess about 6 or 7 times a year. That's. So you're not going to really fight a killer a week.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. People say I shouldn't go here, but the bottom line is, I think that Ray Robinson losing to some of those guys was a bit controversial. I mean, because I never thought that although Carmen Basilio has been on the show many times, Ray, he rest in peace, Ray Robinson as well. How can I put this? I couldn't imagine losing to Carmen Basilio if I had his skills. You hear what I'm trying to say? I couldn't imagine losing to Gene Fomer if I had those skills. And yet I have a picture with Ray Robinson and Blinky Palermo. Blinky Palermo was the guy that ran boxing for the mob. Him and Frankie Carbo, those two guys. In fact, when Frankie Carbo called you on the phone and said, "This is Mr. Brown," this is Mr. Brown on the phone, he didn't have to say anything else. When he told you it was Mr. Brown, it meant you had to lose.
Listen, I wouldn't doubt it one bit. That era, it was ruled, by a chosen few, and like you said, and It was your time to go down. You're going down. That's it.
I'm not trying to say I don't think rating go down per se, but I do think that I really think that